sometime this year I'm gonna have knee surgery. Who did your knee
Wait.
surgery?
Jacksonville Orthopedics.
We're
in
live.
Jacksonville.
We're live. Call it the Heritage Committee meeting of May 17th to order at 10 o'clock. And let's stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Have everyone here except for, wait a minute, this is Cheryl. Uh-huh. Look at my microphone. Was turned the wrong direction. Woo!
Like a snake.
Hey, Miss Carrie. We went ahead with the prayer without you.
Okay.
Sorry.
No
You will take a look, please, at the April minutes. Thank you, Mary, for doing these for us. It's so appreciated, very much, very thorough. Does anyone see any corrections or additions or anything? Can I have a motion to approve? Or are we still reading? You still reading, Will? Done? Can I have a motion to approve? Second? Is there a second? Okay. All in favor of approving these minutes? Okay, thank you. Okay, first up on old business is our plaque workshop that we are going to do again. And Miss Owen is going to be the chair of that. And here's a copy. I may have already given you this. This was the previous letter that went out to the homeowners to invite them.
Right.
And this is a copy of the plaque program and the research guidelines that Vichy did. Did I give you a copy of that yet? Can't
I've seen them
remember.
in the past.
But I'm having them copied now, just in case you don't have them, so I will
Okay.
get that to you.
All
okay?
right,
So
thank
there's
you.
that, okay. So we would like to set a date for this, and, do you have anything in mind, Ms. Cheryl?
Well, obviously, the summer is not a good time, and September is not a good time because it's a back to school month.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would suggest October.
October? On a weekend or a weekday, or what do you think? A weekend, probably?
Saturday is
Saturday?
the time that I would suggest.
Yeah, on a Saturday, okay. Does anybody have a calendar? Oh, we got, yeah, on our cell phones. Does that work with everyone else, or any other ideas besides, October?
Check if it is available, the UF football schedule.
So I cannot do the first weekend of October or the third weekend of October, or probably the last weekend of October. It's a very busy month for me.
Oh, which one can you do, Nona?
The only weekend I potentially could do it would be the weekend of the 22nd.
We obviously need to know when the Gator Games are.
It's typically the 30th of October. I can look it up real quick.
Okay, thank you.
It's Halloween weekend almost always, but let me look.
That was a good thought.
So we're looking at.
It's
the-
October 30th. The game is this year.
Okay. So Saturday, you think would be all right?
What?
Saturday would be
The
all right?
23rd, is that what we're
No.
looking at?
She said that,
That's the only weekend I have right now.
Okay.
But I don't know anybody else.
does that date work with everybody else in October?
Yes, I think that's
Right
the
now,
Gators
that
bye
works for me.
weekend.
Well, we gotta, get it in a plan. That is a, I have that as a Friday.
October 23rd is a Saturday.
Oh, I wrote down 22nd, I'm sorry. 23rd?
That's a Saturday.
Okay, Saturday, all right. Don, you
That
good
was
with
quick
it?
and simple.
Ma'am?
You good with it?
Yeah.
The 23rd? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Excuse me. Carrie, is that a good time for you as
Yeah,
well?
yeah.
Okay, all right, good. All right, then, all right, Miss Owen.
What time of day are you thinking?
Well, that's what we need to plan, get some plans going now, or Cheryl, do you want to plan it and come back, get some ideas and come back at next month's meeting?
Let me come back at the next meeting with an outline of what I would propose for
Okay.
the workshop
All
and
right.
for how we should market it.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All right, and then we were gonna, item B, the Christmas ornament that we wanted to sell, a themed ornament for the Centennial 2025. Ms. Rodenroth.
So, I kind of, without knowing any kind of budget that might be looked at, and that goes for many things, but it's kind of hard to really know
Mhm.
kind of what we could be looking at. But I just, like I mentioned, some things using a key.
Mhm.
And so I went online and found some examples of ornaments that are in the shape of a key for the Keystone concept, and then did some different color schemes to kind of demonstrate. So just, like I said, just playing around with some ideas. We might have a agreement with someone who can give us some examples of what we could buy in bulk and have them printed up to be used that the city we have contact with, I don't know. But I just Googled the idea of a key as a Christmas ornament and then played around with some of the artwork to make it fit kind of what we're trying to think about.
Last
I wish I was
year,
out there.
Could also be a ball, but.
the city manager did ornaments for the Rotary, and they were really quite attractive.
Mhm.
And so we might ask her how she got those done.
Yeah,
That was Lynn?
That's Lynn.
Yeah, okay.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that too. I mean, it's just pitching some ideas of, I like the ideas kind of going to key
That's okay.
because of
No, I'm
the
sorry.
name,
That's okay.
but,
Hey, good morning.
Do you want me to have Lynn come in real quick if she's there?
She's here right now.
Oh, Miss Lynn. Last year, I understand you did some Christmas ornaments for the Rotary. Can you tell us about those and who you used? And what we're looking for is to create one for Keystone, a Christmas ornament that we could sell, maybe in the shape of a key. It could be wood, I don't know, it could be whatever, but,
So the ornaments that I created for the Rotary Club were pretty simple. It's something that I went online and grabbed their logo,
Oh.
put it on cardstock. We were able to laminate them, punch a hole through it, and put ribbon on it. So it was literally done a one-day event. They turned out very nice, but there are options if you would like to utilize some funds from the Heritage Commission to do wood engravings or things of that nature.
okay. Do you know of a company that does wooden ornaments?
The city contracts with Winning Concepts. They do all of our brick engraving and things of that nature. I know that they, in their storefront, have those types of ornaments or medallions or whatever
Mhm.
engraved out of wood.
I mean, it doesn't have to be wood.
No, it
plastic,
doesn't.
Be whatever.
Anything, but,
We were just coming up with a theme for the centennial purposes to kind of like put a welcome center or around some of the stores in town, kind of reminding people of the era and the time, right? And so
Absolutely.
the key just kind of came to mind because I think about keyhole
Sure.
and I look for something like that, but then the key is the next best thing. It can be carved out of plastic or wood or, and it could be something else, it don't have to be a key.
Absolutely.
the pavilion would be nice. The hotel would be great, but we don't have it anymore, so.
Pavilion would be another good idea, I think.
So are you looking for something that has the actual engraving? I can visualize it in my head, but I'm not entirely sure. I believe on the dais possibly are some coasters that were engraved. Are you thinking something along those lines? Are they there or have they
Yeah, they're
grown
there.
legs?
They're a circle.
Yes.
Rob, you got one?
Yeah.
Is it? It's
Maybe
lightweight.
something like this is
It's
cute
lightweight.
as an ornament, just having some of the wording changed, you know. to
Absolutely.
reflect holiday.
So those are the types of things that I know
this
that
is- These are cute too.
that Winning Concepts are capable of doing. I know that
Mhm.
there's other engraving or embroidering shops that are capable of doing that at all. If the Heritage Commission would like to come up with a design, then that's absolutely doable, and I think a really good idea.
Ms. Cheryl, you want to work with, well, no, wait. That was Nina, I'm sorry, Nina. Do you want to work maybe with Mary? Does Mary know about that, or with you?
If you want to come up with the designs and that I can put you in contact, you'll probably work with Miss Christina to get
Okay.
that started.
Okay, yeah. Just let me know who I need to meet with and we can take a look at things.
Yeah,
I mean, this
I'll be
is-
glad to come down and help
This
too.
is fine, just, changing it up a little bit to reflect holiday and,
Mm-hmm.
centennial.
I like-
Yeah,
it
it's the
doesn't-
goal behind it, really.
What about using the city logo?
Well, that is what those coasters are. That's the embroidered logo that we have.
Yeah,
And that's actually what's in front of the pavilion right now.
right.
Even that would make a nice ornament, just like that. It's not Christmassy, but I mean, it's, you
That's
know,
what I'm saying, I
a
think this is
keepsake.
pretty cute, I mean, the way
It
it is.
is. I
And
like
and
it
these
too.
are not for sale anywhere in town that I'm aware of, I haven't seen them except. in-
No, those were gifted to us by Mr. Cornegay and his stepfather.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, this is, just needs to be changed up just a little. for the
Sure.
holiday thing.
We don't have to just have one, though. We might have people have options too. It depends on what the cost is.
Exactly.
I like your key idea a lot,
Yeah, I think the key.
especially if it was red
Yeah.
for the holidays or so. Do we want to continue further with this? Any more investigation, or we want to just proceed to?
I'll meet with this gal you're talking about and see
Sure.
what we can drill out.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Nina.
Now, do I need to reach out to her, or how do we, her and I get together?
I will have her reach out to you. She'll send an email out tomorrow.
Okay, Christina, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Rutkowski. All right, thank you, Nina, for that too, and appreciate it. And I like the idea we can use our funds too, if we have enough funds, I'm not sure what we've got in there right now, but anyway, Christmas house walking tour. That was, well, it was Nina and Helen, and, Nina and Helen. And Helen's not able to come, her piece of her property flooded or something, and she's there trying to get all the water out and stuff like that. So, anyway, the Christmas parade is the second Saturday in December. I mean, the Kiwanis Christmas parade, yes. And I believe last month, Ms. Rodenroth, you thought it might be a good idea to
That's
do
the
some
old
special
gardens.
things.
And I'm presuming that's when they're having, that's the one they normally have, the second weekend of December.
Mm-hmm. That's when they do it. Okay, 12/11.
She and I had not met, so we need to have a meeting here, right, to discuss that. Her and I should plan to do that, kind of like Carrie and I did the workshop.
You and Helen, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, let's see if we want, this date, are we good with this date? That's the day we generally do it. Is everybody okay with that? I don't think we need to, do we really need to take a vote on that, or no? I don't think we do. It's pretty much been the second Saturday each time. Well, Nina, were you able to, you said last meeting, I think you had a name or someone that you had already discussed being on the tour, do you remember that?
No,
Talking to them about okay.
No.
Do you need any recommendations from anyone, or
Well,
how do you want to handle going out?
I mean,
and-
I think that's what Helen and I were gonna try to talk out, because she knows the area pretty well.
Okay,
And to me, for them to go well, the ones I've been to anyway,
Mhm.
Riverside and Jacksonville and San Marco, creative homes that they put on, symphony showcase homes, all those types of events. It's all about proximity and convenience for people, to get them to wanna do it.
okay.
And then you gotta find out which house, and are those folks open? So you could do partial walking and then maybe pick 3 homes that people would walk through. But you also have to have plenty of volunteers who are gonna be in the home with the owner. So you have a volunteer per room, you don't put the entire house, but it's very controlled. So that, and there's usually no children under 12 allowed, you have to. But they do pay a fee, and that money goes to the
Buy
commissioner, to the
tickets.
city or whatever. But, we have to find the owners who wanna do that, So, and they don't necessarily have to be plaqued or any of that, it's
Mhm.
just people that we wanna see if they would be open to doing it.
Mhm.
Certainly, I'll do it at my house. I'll ask Deirdre if she would do it, her house is like just a few doors down from mine. I
Is there
don't
another
know.
house right there on Magnolia that you can think of?
I'm just thinking about the people that I know that would be willing to do it,
Mhm.
I'm just trying to think of who else, that or feel like they want people to come in, it's kind of it's a touchy situation sometimes.
Yep.
Sure.
So her and I mean, me and Helen can talk, but I can also ask Deirdre for some ideas that she might have.
Well,
But
we
right
can-
off, I think Deirdre and I would for sure probably
Okay.
do it.
We can always have a volunteer in each room,
Yeah, we have to.
Okay, and
Absolutely. have
to make the homeowners feel more secure.
Yeah, you do, and you just allow so many people in a room at a time as well.
Okay.
So.
Well, I'm sure we'll all be glad to help with
And
that.
it's usually in the evening, it's like early, like right before it gets dark. And, you'll have people do those sacks, the white sacks with the sand in them and the white little lanterns in them to line the sidewalk is taking you to the houses. That's why it's nice to have it kind of within proximity, within a block of walking and then parking, So
We've never done a nighttime.
It's really nice, especially
Okay.
during Christmas and all,
Okay.
especially the city's already dressed up,
Sure.
and stuff. I think it's kind of a neat thing. to do.
The
Awesome.
parade starts at
The
what
parade,
time?
it usually starts around 6, so having that, but the last year they did it behind our house, like they brought it on the back side of, down Magnolia and then turned, no, from the high school straight down Jasmine and then made the turn on Magnolia, headed the other direction, opposite of me. So normally it goes right in front of my house on 21, but they changed it up last year and it wasn't quite as big as they kept it up, but I don't know what the route would be this year either. But it didn't go down our back street on Magnolia there. It kind of went to where you're at, Lynn, so. But, I think it's kind of a.
I'm trying to think if there's another old house on Magnolia, but you said
There
it didn't
are
necessarily
some, but I
have to
just
be
don't
an
know
old
if they
one.
would
but
be, I don't know them well enough to ask
Mhm.
them, so.
could Identify the ones that are
We'll
on
just have to
Magnolia.
kind of kick around some ideas.
Okay.
So,
Yikes.
Yeah, we'll just have to kick around some ideas.
Okay.
that might be within
Any
closeness.
ideas from you guys down here about it?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. I'm just wondering if people will want to go at night after they've been out all day downtown
I
and
think
a
we're
parade. There'll be a
Probably
small group.
Late afternoon.
Well, it has to be when, it's prettier when it's dark, because the Christmas lights are, the houses are
Absolutely.
lit up, the house inside is lit up.
Mhm.
If it's daylight, you don't have the same feel, it's just different. The parade usually starts right before dark, like 6 o'clock or 5:30.
Well, that's not
And
too
last year
bad.
it was over by 6:30.
Yeah, it doesn't last that long. Okay.
So
So
is-
maybe,
Isn't there already, is there a walking tour already? I think there's a brochure in the lobby. So, would it be feasible to try to get involvement from the houses on the walking tour for them to at least decorate and then maybe see if some of those
Yes.
people would be willing to do open
Yes,
houses?
absolutely, right. So.
that's a great idea, Carrie.
And that's definitely a great idea, to let them know that they would be part of it, but it's just you're walking by. But if you'd be willing to open your house up, we really probably just need 3 houses that people would go through.
Mhm.
Because we don't have a huge town. I mean, in Jacksonville, there was hundreds of people in line to go through these houses. I I mean, seriously, because it was such a big deal. In Riverside, they only do it every other year, and I think same thing in San Marco now. So, and they do all the old houses up there in the
In
river.
St. Augustine, they have, it's huge, the tour in St. Augustine.
Right, it's a big deal in Jacksonville too, but, who was it? Somebody was mentioning the last meeting we had that they do one in Melrose, I think Helen mentioned that. So, a Christmas tour of homes. So I'm gonna find out when that is and check that out, find out kind of how they do it. Just because it's similar,
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
setting and all. But I like the idea of including those ones that, and maybe those ones that are the walking, and even the ones that are the in-house. We would probably put a small committee together to help them and give them some support on the decorating, like taking it another step up. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Step it up. So we'll just have to see, maybe the garden club can get involved and help us with
Oh,
some of
that
that.
would be great to have the garden club
Mhm.
involved.
Yep, I think so too. So that's a good idea.
And you need to ask them now before they get really busy.
Right, yeah, we can do that. That's not a problem. I saw Deidre just the other day.
Anything else on that topic? Anybody? 9, it sounds like you've been thinking about it, great, and of course, we're all gonna be helping as well, okay? mean,
I just think it's a
yeah.
neat thing to bring to the city.
Yeah, it is,
I
and,
agree.
and I think everyone will be able to help and make it happen too.
Yeah,
All right.
and maybe
Karen.
it doesn't have to be on the same night as the Christmas parade, maybe spreading it out to a different
Maybe
night.
on
gives-
Friday night.
Yeah, would give it like more activities for Christmas downtown, you know, instead of just everything on one
Right.
night.
I mean, it could be Friday night, potentially, yeah.
I mean-
Because I think they normally do it, it's
Saturday.
it's usually just a Saturday typically. It's usually one night too, it's not several nights. So I can kind of look into some others and how, I can follow up on the Riverside one too, and just get some ideas. I had gone to it several times, but it's been a long time ago.
All right.
If we do it Friday night, then it's not gonna be crunched up against the parade. And it
The
might be.
parking in the,
In the parking won't be as problematic, people won't be as pressed for time in terms of getting through the houses and then getting up to the parade.
well, it's
I
not-
like the idea of having it on a night other than the parade.
Yeah, it can, I mean, I'm totally fine with it too.
All right, good. Anything else on that topic? All right. So Nina, you'll get back to us next month and give us your thoughts and, you know, in your discussion with Helen. And of course,
Mhm.
sorry she's not here today either, but,
May I interrupt a moment?
mhm.
Do we have the outline for the previous plaque workshop we've done?
Yes.
Can you give me a copy of that?
I'm getting that, it's being printed, that the part that Vichy did, that was all the instruction about how to research your home, is that what you're talking about?
Mhm.
Yes, I'm getting that printed now.
Okay,
So
thank you.
yes, you will get one. Thank you. Let's see. Item D, plant landscape ideas for downtown. And that was, Rob and, did I get that right? Rob and Helen? Nina?
Well, Rob gave me an idea for my yard, so I don't know if Rob was involved in this thing or not.
I got your name
Which I did call them, Rob, I called them, but they only sell to licensed landscapers, which my guy is not, he's just a yard guy. So I didn't want him to have to go over to Lake City to get plants either. So with his, trying to get around all the houses he takes care of. So anyway, we started on the excavation on the front, I don't know if y'all noticed, but it's almost halfway gutted now. The whole hillside is gonna be completely blank again, it's all this fuzzy wild crap. And he's digging every bit of that out from the corner of Jasmine all the way to the park.
Wow.
And we're gonna put that dwarf jasmine on that entire hillside. So it's gonna be very low and like a carpet of shrubs, is kind of what it's gonna look like. So I'm pretty excited about
Sounds
getting that
pretty.
done. So I went online again thinking, okay, let me see what other people do, because you mentioned planters and some kind of vases that we can't like just do the lights are, we can't like plant stuff in the ground, we have to do some kind of planters or whatever. And of course, you need to know kind of what a budget might look like. I just Googled some ideas of what other people have done, and then I came up with some of these examples. And I've been looking at areas in town as we were been out walking, taking photographs, and they're all kind of uniquely shaped, so it just depends. I did talk to Deirdre a little bit about this and coming to talk to us, and she said the first thing foremost would be to get a budget to know kind of what. And she said, you know, she could advise some ideas on what plants would be appropriate, and also figuring out is water gonna be at those locations?
Yes.
For the, you know, to make sure they're gonna get watered, and just little details, you know, that,
So there are a couple of details that are going to go into this project, and one of the conversations that I've had with council and the agency is that we are going to wait until we get a new engineer, or not a new engineer, but we go through this RFQ for our engineering services. We'll be signing on a new contract for continuing engineering services come July. Once that happens, then Landscape Architect is part of that contract, and we'll be working with them. A couple of things to keep in mind while we go through this project is, one, our right-of-way is used as walking to get to and from parking. And so plants and things of that nature, anything that's going to grow or get your feet stuck in, we're going to encourage that we stay away from. Simple is better in this. We're looking at a couple of different planter options because you cannot plant there. We've got utilities going along the ground on both sides of the road. So planting is not an option. It's going to have to be large planters that are strategically placed and out of the way, because people will have to leave their car and get to the sidewalk. There are a couple ideas for benches that council has asked me to look into. Downtown used to have those, I don't know if you can visualize in your head, the old concrete benches. We would like, council has asked that I look into those sides with the slats, the composite wood, the material that's similar to those that are at the corner that say "Welcome to Keystone Heights" within the downtown area, to kind of keep the look throughout downtown consistent. But undergoing this project, one, watering is an issue. We will not have irrigation. That will not be an option. And simple is better because this is a pathway for pedestrians.
so how will they stay alive if there's not water?
Well, we're looking at things that can withstand and is
Drought
natural to
tolerant.
Florida.
Air plant.
So, well, things, planters are going to be an option on the poles potentially and things like that. But I've put together some notes. Staff and I are working together from the walking workshop that the agency took several Fridays ago, and we'll be presenting that to the agency meeting in June. However, this project really will be on hold until we get our landscape architect on contract. And so with those ideas, any ideas that you may have, please go ahead and send to Miss Mary. She'll be able to vet through those, and we can put together packets. But the agency will be working with, like I said, the landscape architect, and simple is better within this project because we will be offering spots for our pedestrians to sit. However, the right-of-way is used as a pathway from their vehicles to the businesses.
This is an opportunity to use native plants that are drought tolerant.
And we have to be careful on what we plant because we do have utilities that are within our right-of-way.
Right, but I'm saying, native, we can look at grasses, we can look at flowering plants that are drought tolerant. We can look at a number of things that will work, that are drought tolerant, and they will still be attractive in containers or whatever. They won't be as pretty as the pictures that just got passed around, but they will be attractive. But, they just, we just are not gonna have as many options as we would like. That's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is.
Yes. But that's a walk area, it's a shopping area. Maybe we could paint some flowers on benches. I don't know.
Well, whatever
I'm
we do
teasing,
is
but
gonna look better than it does.
something colorful,
That's
but
what
anyway.
Well, anything
if
will
you're
look
putting
better
out-
than what it does as we're currently under construction.
There are cactus, yuccas, things like that.
There's all kinds of stuff they can do. If you're going out with RFQ, it's probably gonna be someone relatively within the state who already knows the type of drought tolerance with the criteria.
Yes.
So when would that be awarded, that contract?
July.
Oh, cool.
In July.
Okay. So it's in the works.
So they may not need any ideas from us then, I mean, if they're
Well,
used
they'll
to.
probably come with us some concepts based on criteria, and that's what we look at.
Yes.
Oh, okay, they'll
That's
bring
how it
us what
works.
they think would work.
Based on the
Yeah.
monies being
Mhm.
allowed for the contract,
Mhm.
they're trying to fit into a quote, so.
Or maybe
Okay.
the design, like of the planters or the boxes.
What some of those options might be.
Did
You know,
we,
some of the planters could be very colorful planters to add color to the environment, so that they themselves become the focal point.
Well, that,
We have
yeah,
a lot
that
of
it matches the
options there.
aesthetic, you know, maybe with this intent, the aesthetic of the town, you
Mhm.
know,
And
overall feel.
I believe that's one of the goals of the agency and the council as well, is to really capture a look of downtown and then bring it into our our history and kind of wrap that in so it is one consistent story as opposed to being chopped up block by block.
do you anticipate they would do like the engineers would do a slideshow or something of what they might think would work their plants or anything like that, or, I don't know. I'm not sure how far they go into it.
Probably they'll go as far as I asked them to go, or as the council asked me to direct them to go. So they'll obviously they'll be local to Florida, so they'll have an idea of what's going to work and what's not. I hope so, seeing as that we're going to be paying them to do such. With that being said, they'll take a look at our downtown needs and what the right-of-way is going to be used for, is in conjunction with FDOT and what's going to be allowed and what's not. And then they'll be able to bring back some very nice concept designs and then ask for input on the moving parts of that.
Could the
Usually-
Heritage Commission be invited to that presentation so we can watch it with you guys, or?
As soon as we award the contract and move forward with this project,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's what I meant, when you're ready to go
Yep,
with them. Yeah.
absolutely.
That'd be
That's going to be
great.
one of the first projects that our engineer under our new contract will be working on.
Okay, thank you, Lynn. Anything else from Ms. Lynn?
I'm just gonna add, I've been involved with a lot of RFQs for state of Florida
Mhm.
for our business. And whenever we have to put together a quote for instrumentation and testing in laboratories, it comes down to every single thing down to a power outlet. So, I mean, space, what it's gonna look like, dimension, what is it capable of delivering? Like, what is, we have all this for that particular project. They are looking as a group, what are the specifics that we want? Meaning, a size of pot, how many do you want, what colors might you be considering, type of plant, I mean, it's very detailed. And then, they have probably already, before they even did the quote, come down and seen the area, so they can give you the best idea for what your space needs, typically. Because, I mean, we would do a site visit, so we could see before we put the quote out. And that's also about that budget. So whatever the dollars are, and they're trying to fit under that, so they can win the award for the contract. So that, it is very detailed, so I'm not worried about that at all, I'm sure they'll come back with a good solution, whoever gets it.
All right, thank you. This is just information only, but the city council and staff are exploring a new facade grant program for downtown. So I thought, in moving into new business, that it might be a nice time for us to review the design guidelines for the future downtown facade renovations.
Do you want to?
And we can do it in June, take them home and look at them, because they're kind of extensive. It's probably not something we would want to try to do here unless everyone had enough time. But I think if we could do it in June, that would be great, if you guys would look it over. And, does that sound okay to you, Ms. Lynn? For us? Okay. So I'll add that to the June schedule. We will meet in June. July and August, we had decided before we wouldn't meet during the summer, but can we kind of leave it open in case, we need to? Okay. Hold on just a second. We went out to, the next item is the historic Keystone Inn signs. We went out to the air park to look at the information, the stuff that was still left at the air park. And there was a lot of stuff out there, but maybe not a lot of things that we could use. I think I did include, or did I, in your packet, in the stuff, a list of the items that the Beals brought with them. Sorry, where did it go? I have it. I have the list, I just don't know where it is. Sorry, Rob. It might be right here. Good grief. Well, I'll tell you what it is. I do have it, and I'm sorry, Mary, I'll get that to you so you can put it with our records. Basically, there was a couple of wooden benches. I think that the note that I got was to list the items that they had kept. But my first thought, or I thought we were told to list the items that we brought from the facility. So I wasn't sure, I wanted to verify that. So my list has what we kept and what we brought, okay? The Beals have been able to use one, they brought 2 wooden tables. One's not in good shape, they're able to use one. They brought the big Keystone Inn sign that has the lights. None of them are working. And at the next item on our agenda, I'll just kind of quickly go to that, is that maybe we could get council to look into restoring that. I don't think the Heritage Commission has the funds to restore one of those old lights. It'd probably be pretty expensive, but if we want to do that, I mean, it would be something we could bring up for council to look at. Do you agree, Ms.? Mm-hmm. Or have you already looked into it?
The larger of the two, the Keystone Inn sign, I believe that one was a Keystone Inn and the other one was a diner sign.
Mm-hmm.
The Keystone Inn sign, we're looking at quotes for getting restored, at least one of those sides, into the original neon lights. The diner sign we have not looked into yet, is because we don't necessarily have a place at the moment for it. But that's something that we'll hang on to, and as we're able to put that on display somewhere, then we'll be able to look into the possibility of getting that restored as well. Right now it's just in a quote phase where we've got a couple of different options of businesses that do that kind of restoration, and so we're just seeing what's going to be a feasible option.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
And then the few of the other things will go back. One was the water fountain that you push a button, and that I recommended the things they did not use that would go back to the air park. But the other thing they have there was, I'm sorry, wait a minute, I lost my train of thought. A picture, an original picture of the beach. They have that hanging in the office and the table, and I think that's the only, do you know of anything else they used?
They have one of the
I
two
don't have my
tables,
list.
one of the tables, like you said, was in really bad condition. They do have one of the original benches to the Keystone Inn that's sitting in there.
Oh, okay.
They do have a painting of the pavilion. They do have one of the original pictures of the beach. An old fire extinguisher, I believe it's what it is, or a snow cone machine that was
Snow cone machine.
Snow cone machine. A snow cone machine that was originally for the inn, that was in the inn or part of the city for special events, things of that nature that they had at the
Ice
inn.
pops or something.
I believe those are all that they have on display right now. Like I said, the sign is one that we're looking to get restored, at least one of those sides to get restored, depending on the cost.
Okay. So it's okay, then the other things that they're not using that would go back out to the air park, or no?
Yes, that's
Okay,
correct for the
all
time
right.
being.
It'll probably be several $1,000s to restore those signs. It's not gonna be cheap.
No, sure it's not, but we'll look into it. That'd be
That-
great.
That's why we're looking into it.
Finding a place might be hard to put it, might be harder than the cost to restore it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's so large,
It is.
the big one.
And it's
anyway.
heavy.
Yeah,
So.
so, and it might just be a little something for people to want to pick on or mess with or something, the kids. I don't know even where we would put it.
I believe one of the walls inside the Welcome Center is large enough to display it, but again, after we get one of those sides, and that's one of the reasons why we're looking at one of those sides.
Yeah.
But after we get one of the sides restored, then it's making sure that it's going to be there, sturdy and secure.
Great, all right, thank you.
Absolutely.
And then we have last on our agenda is the plaque application that we received for 560 Live Oak Avenue. And I've attached it to your, you should have it there with you.
No?
It's not there? Good grief. Is everybody able, except for Cheryl, to walk down to the house? And we could
probably
ride?
walk.
You think so? It's not far, but Roy and Ruby Tyer were the original owners. I'm sorry, I photoed this for you. I just didn't get it into your packet. This is crazy. I apologize. Anyway, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's a blue house. It's on the corner, and it's beautifully landscaped. I mean, you could hardly miss it if you went by there. But we can go by now and just kind of look at the house, and I'll make copies of this, and we can actually vote on it next meeting. Or we can each individually go by and vote on it next meeting.
Can you read that?
Yes, I can
Just
read this.
it.
I can read it. The address is 560 Live Oak, Lot 10, Block 17 of Keystone Heights. The land was part of the original plat of Keystone Heights. It was platted in 1924 by the Lawrence Development Company. One of the earliest owners was Ann Hamilton in 1930. Leona Hamilton owned the lot next door. In 1940, lots 1, 2, 7, 10, and 11 were owned by the Florida Internal Improvement Fund. That corporation business was and is still in charge of state land. I suspect that the lots were taken for taxes. By 1950, George C. Stone was the owner. By 1960, the owner was H.H. Hartwell. At some point after 1960, Roy Tyer bought the lot. He was the home builder and land developer. He developed a subdivision called Lake Lily near Keystone. He probably built the current house, and I cannot tell if he ever lived in it. Looking at the street view of the house and some of the other neighbors' homes, they all appear to have been built in the 60s. Architectural styles are similar, and build dates are all early 60s. I think this would be the first house in the 60s that we've even looked at, too. Everything else has been, right around the beginning of the city. In 1979, Roy and his wife Ruby sold the lot to Catherine M. Green. 10 years later, Green sells to Barbara Renfro and Elizabeth Grotzmiller. And then they sell to Daniel, and I cannot say the name. It's Negyrch. Anybody want to try to say that? In 2001. From there, it sold to John Basso and Diana Frank in 2004. In 2018, they sold to Stan and Carrie Brockington, and then to the Meltons. So this house was built by Roy and Ruby Tyer in 1962, and he does not give the style of the home. We'll have to look at it. But
It's basically a ranch.
here's a picture of the
Yeah,
Nani,
it's
you've
a
seen it?
ranch, and I mean, she's a very quirky designer, so it's just a very, very charming home.
I'll pass this, and that's part of the lot.
I see
Have you
that.
seen it?
Yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
It's had all additions. it
And they've
looks
done all
like.
that, they've done all that work.
Well, this is what I would suggest too, because we haven't done a plaquing in a while, is to this month review your plaquing guidelines, look at them, and then we'll be ready to, to make a decision on it next month. On the surface of it, it looks like it would qualify to be plaqued.
Yeah.
So, we'll just put that on the June agenda.
They repainted the house and all the landscape changes, major landscape. She's got a hill also, she's telling me she had all that grassy junk in the front of hers too, and they ripped it all out.
Yeah, she's
But
done
it's
a nice job with the
Really,
landscape.
really beautiful. It's just as beautiful inside.
Excuse me, I'm just writing.
So they are of Cuban descent,
Uh-huh.
a couple of those characters. He works for Amazon, he's a architect for Amazon.
Oh,
Yeah, okay. And they moved up from South Florida and have her mother living with them.
like to, is she the one that decorates, that's the gardening? I'd like to get her to do a workshop for us.
Yeah,
That'd be
well,
fun.
She does, yeah, all the gardening.
That's the garden
She loves
club.
it.
Okay, another place,
She's
okay.
working part-time for Renee down the Rusty Gypsy.
I just rejoined the garden club, so I will be your lead.
Okay, good, thank you. And then we've been asked to change our meeting time. Is it possible that we go to Tuesdays at 10 o'clock instead of Mondays? Is there any reason why we can't do that?
There's no reason, I don't think there'll be any problem.
It looks like it's, do we need to, well, let's vote on, can I have a motion to change it to the first Tuesday of the month at 10 o'clock? Anyone want to make a motion?
And I just realized that is a problem for me. I'll just make it not a problem. It's okay.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Do we, oh, I'm gonna, these are, did I ask you to look at the design guidelines?
Yes.
Okay, so next month, we will see if we need to make any changes, but I do want to pass this out. And this is,
You did
no,
pass.
just look at them and then I'll give you the, we'll look at this next month. And so I'll make sure that we are ready to go with that.
Excuse me, LaDonna.
Uh-huh.
So you just mentioned the first Tuesday of the month for the meetings, is that
Mhm.
correct? Okay.
Yes.
So is the next meeting then June 1st, or is it June 21st, which is on the agenda?
So it would be the first Tuesday, it would be June 2nd.
The first Tuesday?
The
Oh,
first
we're
Tuesday.
going
I mean,
Yes,
I'm
the
sorry,
new-
the first, I'm sorry, wait a minute. It's June, Tuesday, yeah. The first Tuesday is June 1st.
Okay, so that's in
Oh, I see.
a little over 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Are you right?
And then the first Tuesday would be July 6th of July.
I mean, if you're making it a month from today on that, it'd be like June 16th or June 15th on Wednesday. I see what you're saying.
Wait,
So
did I
two-
say the second Tuesday or the first
So
Tuesday?
the first Tuesday.
Right.
Aren't we meeting on the second Monday? We want to meet on the second Tuesday.
Today's
Today is the third
third Monday. I think what happened is we had a few times they had to
Jeez.
get moved out for whatever reason.
Yes, okay, wait.
But so you're exactly right, because if we do June 2nd, you're only 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks out.
Why don't we meet on the last,
Or the third Tuesday of the month.
Or we could just
And
start
that's
in July and say July 6th, which is the first
since we're
Tuesday.
not meeting in July or August,
Oh,
why
we're
don't we
not.
meet the last Monday in June?
Wait a second.
So we're not meeting in
Don't we
July or
meet now
August?
on the third?
I mean, the last
the-
Tuesday.
The third Monday of,
Can I make
the
a
third
suggestion?
Tuesday, yes.
Can you, if you're going to change your meeting days to Tuesday, then why don't you, instead of making your meeting June 21st, make it the June 22nd at 10 o'clock? And then that way you're keeping your same schedule, it's just moving it from Monday to Tuesday. And then that way it's a consecutive,
That's a month out.
yes.
Yeah. Can everybody make it June 22nd?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so, do I have a motion to change it to the second
22nd.
Tuesday of the
June
month?
22nd. We
So
already
that would
did
be-
that.
Yeah.
Did we
The-
motion it?
Would,
Did
do
I
you
get a
want the
motion?
third Tuesday or the second Tuesday?
Third. What you just said.
What
The
is
third
the matter
Tuesday?
with me?
So that would be you'd be.
The 23rd.
It'd be the 22nd. June 22nd would be your next meeting, and then from here on out, then your meetings would meet the third Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m.
So can we amend
Tuesdays.
the motion to be the third Tuesday of every month
That would-
at
correct.
10 a.m.? Is there a second?
Wait a minute.
I second it.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So.
All
we're-
right, the
we're
third
moving on to the
Tuesday.
third Tuesday.
Yeah. geez. Is that gonna work for you, Lynn?
That solves my conflict, thank you.
Okay,
So it's June 22nd.
all right. Yes, okay. So our next meeting is June 22nd at 10, same place, same time, okay. Anything else for the good of the order? Anybody? Okay, thank you all. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, LaDonna.
Very good
You're welcome.
meeting.